No, 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 no.
Okay, so you have come to Bliss a couple times with these beautiful keepsake boxes for your family members. And it almost feels like a ceremony that you're having with them, where you're like passing the baton.
Yeah.
It feels like. So
Yeah.
tell me about the boxes and what's in them.
Well, these are keepsakes of all kinds of stuff that Mommy had. She was a collector of everything, from teacups to crystal cups to bookmarkers to handkerchiefs, Bibles, presentations of if there were speakers, and so she wrote a lot. So, and there was things that she had written to presentations of speakers. So I found a lot of those, and so my brother's also an elder of his church, and so I found a lot of notes that were presented. So he got some of those as well. So she was a swimmer on her women's group club, and so she had a lot of wraps, and so the girls got some of those. They got handkerchiefs, they got these letters, cards from friends that my mother had received, just multitude of things. And so I did all these memory boxes to my nieces. My brother got his box on my mother's birthday, which was Sunday. And so he had not been to the house since my mother's passed. We talk every day practically. But he made his first visit to the house on Sunday, and he got his memory box. And it was quite emotional for him. And I also, through my finding of many things in my mother's treasures, were pictures, of course, of us when we were children, pictures of the nieces and grandkids and all that. So there was a collection of black and white pictures, Polaroid pictures. There was just so many things for the last 40 years, 50 years actually, of things that my nieces received, my brother received, and I still have boxes to give out.
Really?
Yeah, I've got 6 more to give out, and 6, 7, something like that. And but the girls were just overwhelmed with joy. They're still talking about them. They can't share because there's still more boxes to give out, and they have not. And so it's been sworn in secrecy not to share with each other.
Okay.
What is being
What's
given
in the
out?
box.
What's in the boxes?
Wow.
And it's just been fun. It's just been very emotional for all of us on what's in each box. Mom had bookmarkers from each event that she participated in, because she was like in women groups at the church, in her swim clubs, in her purple hat or red hats groups that she was in.
Did anyone get a hat?
No. They all got brooches. The girls got brooches because she was in something with the church and this and that.
So what gave you the idea to do these boxes?
Because I'm a mushy girl. I love doing little stuff like that. She had so much, and I'm like, oh, they would really love this. And I didn't know there was so much to give, and I just said, I love treasure things. And I saw something at Ross. I'm like, I love those little floral boxes. I said, why not? And so I said, what a good way to share Mom's legacy. And so I said, okay, let's just start putting things together. And so I'm a mushy girl. I'm the most mushy, and I'm a teary-eyed girl. And so are my nieces. So I said, this is a good way to kind of pass on her legacy. I don't know if mushy's a fun thing to say, but I
think mushy's the perfect way to say it.
So I said, why not? And then I said the teacups, and I saw you, and I said, ooh, let's put the dots together. And my husband looked at me like, you're so crazy. And I said, oh, why not? And my niece is, the oldest. No, she's not the oldest. That's the middle niece. And she loved the teacups, and I put you together with all this. And that was the first way to start. And she called, I talked to that niece. I talk to all of them all the time. And she said, Auntie, I'm still just she just loves it. She just loves it. So it
was a beautiful thing to watch.
Oh,
it was so beautiful to watch, because it really felt like, I don't want to say passing the baton. It was really more like extending a huge part of your mom to that next generation. It was beautiful.
Yeah, and I wrote a letter. I had a friend who is an awesome writer. I'm not a writer. My brother's the writer, the one that got his box on Sunday. he's the writer. He's written books. And I had a friend that helped me write a letter that part of my mom's, what she would have written through me, and she wrote it out. And so they all got the letter, top of the box. And it was resembling what, I don't think that's the right word, but it was part of my mom through me to them. And they just all like, Auntie's like, Granny wrote this. And she didn't get a chance to actually write it, but you helped make sure it got on paper. And they were just like, they were in awe how it happened. And I'm like, I don't know how it just, you just do it, it just happened. And they're like, wow. My brother says, you did this? I said, well, I didn't do it. I'm not a writer. He says, wow, you did a great job, sis. I'm like, God is awesome how he just makes these things happen.
You were just ushering the words to the paper,
Thank
but
you.
it was really,
it
was really her words.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really just.
I'm so proud of you for doing that.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
I'm really excited too. I'm just so glad. And my niece says, you know what? You need to make sure this happens for other people. I said, well, you guys are the ones to make these. I have ideas. I just don't know always how to put them together. And then at the end, there was a lot of flowers left for my mother's homegoing service. That's what we call it. And so I dried them out and put them also on top of the...
Of course you did. Of course you did. Every detail.
Yeah.
Death doula is coming up for me. Are you familiar with the death doula?
No, what's that?
So you know how they're birth doulas, right? Helping women to bring their child into the world, right? So they kind of usher them through the process.
Oh.
So when I was pregnant, I had a doula. And the doula would come and meet with me, and we would do like breathing classes. And she would talk about, the process and what I need in my bag and all the things that you should get from the hospital, right? You can go to the classes at the hospital, or you could have a death doula. I kind of did both. So I had a birth doula. But there's also a concept of a death doula as well. Okay. And a death doula is someone who will support the family during this process. I think people rely on hospice for that. But a death doula is someone that's gonna kind of help you through the journey when you feel as a family that you need that kind of support. It could be while they're still alive. It could be after they've passed. But that comes up for me when I hear your story because a lot of families get to a point where they go through this journey, but it's so quiet. Like no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to deal with it. And we're on Saturday, actually, we're having a first-time event, Memento Mori. Memento Mori is a death over dinner kind of discussion. Death over dinner is a really growing concept where we encourage families to get together and actually have dinner and talk about death. And it's a website where you can go and you can get all this information that can help you prepare for the conversation. Because no one wants to have the conversation.
I'll tell you about that in a minute.
No one wants to have the conversation. So we've created this event where people can come and be with their loved ones, have high tea, and have the conversation. It would be awesome for you to meet the folks that are coming on Saturday. Because we have an old customer. She's been coming to me for forever. And she just recently lost her mom. She lost 3 people in her family, like back to back.
So did I. Actually, 4 in my circle. Not necessarily. They were still like blood to me.
Yeah. So it's crazy how it happens like that, right? It always happens in like threes or something. So she's coming on Saturday, and we have a couple other guests that are coming. So we wanted to create a space where people can come together and do this death over dinner concept, encouraging families to talk about death, because if we talk about it, we live better, right? We don't want to wait until something happens and then
absolutely. I encourage, through my profession, through my family, I have for years, mommy never wanted to talk about it. And as a professional, I have always encouraged people, and even on a family level, I said, mommy and siblings, we must talk about this. Always never wanted to talk about it.
Never wanted to talk about it.
Never wanted to talk about it.
So what do you recommend to get people to talk about it?
I always tell everybody as the rock. This was a discussion on the phone with several friends last night. We have to. I did everything in the world to encourage my family. We need to talk about it. We cannot wait. They still didn't want to talk about it. Part of the old school. I continue to say, guys, we have to talk about it. My brother, who is in law enforcement, it was very challenging. He still doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I believe that why it took 17 months. He still doesn't want to talk about it. My sister-in-law had to make and still making decisions. It's just for some they cannot, and we just have to take the baton. And just make arrangements because time, we are not kids anymore for this particular generation.
Right.
I encourage people to put it on the table. Those of us who have to make decisions, go ahead and do what we do. As a professional, do your best to put it on the table. We cannot wait because unfortunately fires start terribly and get terribly out of order. I hear of terrible stories today that just get terribly out of order, and legal things get terribly out of it costs millions of dollars for those that have that kind of money. For those of us who don't have that kind of money, things are lost, families torn apart. It's just horrible. And if you don't have the money to even lay someone to rest, you're in a situation that you come to the responsibility of. It's just a terrible situation. And decisions that get made that in 6 months you're like, what just happened? That's not what mom or dad wanted, sister or brother did not want. But decisions
because
have to be made.
Because you're making decisions while you're mourning.
Exactly.
Which is the worst time.
It's the worst time.
Decisions.
And you cannot rely on systems don't want to wait. You have to make that decision. They won't give you that opportunity to wait. They say you can wait. No, you cannot wait.
It's very quick.
It's very quick.
Very quick.
Very quick. And you're like, mom or dad didn't want that, but you're by yourself. You're by yourself.
Right.
And it's not fun. And you thought mom or dad or grandma or grandpa made that decision or made that it's left on the side. Things are put away, and it's not. And it's horrible. It's horrible. I have told so many people so many things, and they wish they had themselves made that decision for them. Yeah. You think it's wrong to make those decisions for them, but you have to do it. You have to. When they have not done it themselves.
So yeah, that's the lesson in this. And I think we all know it. We all know we have to have the conversations. Nobody wants to. So thank you for the reminder. And I think we have to continue to keep reminding people, even ourselves, that we have to have these conversations. And maybe even if we start from what we want, maybe that will encourage others to do the same.
And that's exactly what I did for myself. My husband's another one, doesn't want to talk about it. And what I did way before we got married, I wrote everything down. And I show him even now, this is what I want. This is what I want. And he doesn't want to make any decisions. I said, well, I made them for you. And he just looks at me and walks away.
Yeah.
I said, okay, then you make a decision. But for right now, this is what I've decided.
Yeah.
I have to, because we have his siblings. I don't know if he's still recording, but his siblings, whatever, he says, they have told me whatever you decide is fine with me. Because he doesn't want to talk about it. His siblings are all understand business and this and this and that. And one of the spouses are in the same situation. They don't want to talk about it. The other ones have made their decisions, have put things in order. But
I would like to offer you high tea on Saturday and bring somebody that doesn't want to talk about it.
Okay.
And use that time to talk about it.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate you. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
More than welcome.
Okay.
Yeah.